Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to be walking you through the exact game plan to get yourself in the shape of your life for summer 2025. So let's make sure we don't mess this up like you might have done in the last few years. Let's make sure we're in the shape of our life for summer 2025, and we're going to go through these 5 steps here: your calorie deficit, your macronutrients, what to do when you hit a fat loss plateau, your training and your social events, and how we navigate those in your weekends. Now if you don't know who I am, my name is Harry Knights. I'm the founder and owner of Lean for Life Coaching, where we specialize in getting busy men into the shape of their life, dropping pounds of body fat, building lean muscle, all done without the hours of cardio and the restrictive diets. Now, as you can see from some of the results here, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of men do this, so I know a thing or two about what I'm talking about. So let's get straight into the video, starting off with your calorie deficit. Now, in terms of our calorie deficit, we have to think about a few things here. Now, first thing is going to be your weight. So your current weight is going to determine a lot about your calorie deficit. Now, how we actually work your deficit out is going to be doing your body weight in pounds times by 15. That's going to give you your maintenance calories. Now, our maintenance calories are very, very important, because if we eat here, we stay at the same weight, but we want to lose body fat and get in shape for summer, right? Get the abs coming through, drop a few pounds. So what we have to make sure we do is take that maintenance and subtract 500. Once you subtracted 500 from your maintenance calories, that's going to put you in that calorie deficit. Now, if we simply eat here, we're going to start losing weight. But in order to look good, we've got to lose body fat. If we lose weight, we could be losing muscle mass as well, and we don't want to be doing that. So we want to be losing body fat. So how do we make sure that we're losing body fat? Well, this is where we focus on our macros and our training. Okay, so starting off with our macronutrients. In this example, what I'll do is I'll use myself. As an individual, I weigh around 200 pounds. So in this example, what I would do is I would do 200 pounds times by 15 gives me 3,000 calories. That would be my maintenance calorie amount, but I want to subtract 500. So once I've subtracted 500, I'm left with 2,500 calories. That would be the amount of calories that I would be consuming to lose body fat and try and get in shape for summer. This is exactly what I will be doing, by the way. Now, your macronutrients. So how do we work out our macronutrients? The most important one that we want to work out is going to be our protein. So to work out your protein, it's very easy. It's literally 1 gram of protein that you need to be consuming per pound of body weight. So in this example, like I said, I'm 200 pounds, so I'll be consuming 200 grams of protein. So very easy to work that out. So 200 grams of protein, done. Very simple. What we need to note for later on to work out the rest of our macronutrients is going to be how many calories are in that 200 grams of protein. Now, there are 4 calories per gram of protein. So what we must do is we multiply 200 times by 4, 800. So we know there's 800 calories coming from protein now within that diet. We've got 2,500 calories, we've got 800 calories coming from proteins. The second number, very, very important to work out, is going to be our fats. Now, to work out your fats, it's very simple, it's very easy. It's 20% of your total daily calories. So if my total daily calories is 2,500, 20% of 2,500 is going to be 500 calories. So 500 calories from fats. Now, again, we've got to work out how many grams of fats we're consuming. Now, there are 9 calories per gram of fats. So what we must do is we divide 500 by 9, and that gives us 55 grams. So we now know we're eating 55 grams of fats and we're eating 200 grams of protein. And there's 800 calories in our protein and there are 500 calories in our fats. So if we add 800 and 500 together, it gives us 1,300 calories. So we're eating 1,300 calories from our proteins and our fats. Our total is 2,500. So to work out our carbohydrates, it is literally the rest. It's what's left over. So 2,500, take away 1,300 from the other foods, from our protein and our fats. That then gives us 1,200. And then just like protein, there are 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. So 1,200 divided by 4 equals 300, if you can see that all the way over there. So there are 300 grams of carbohydrates, there are 200 grams of protein, and there are 55 grams of fat. So now we've worked out exactly how to work out your macronutrients, which are very important when looking to lose body fat specifically, whilst building muscle. We've worked out our calorie deficit. We then worked out our macronutrients, and what you can go and do after this video is go and plug your numbers in. So you plug your numbers in terms of your weight, you work out your maintenance, you work out your protein from your weight, you then work out what 20% of your deficit is, and then the rest is your carbohydrates. Really easy. You can go plug your numbers in and work that out. So we've worked out our deficit, we've worked out our macros. Now what we want to make sure that we do is work out exactly what happens when we hit an inevitable fat loss plateau. What I mean by that is you should be weighing yourself throughout this process. You know, if you're looking to lose body fat and get in shape for summer, you're going to be tracking your scale weight. It's one of the metrics we would look to track. So if we look at a graph and we look at this being the weight along the side here. And this is time. So this is, you know, the period of time that you're dieting for, okay? So what we need to make sure that we do is as we lose weight, we're initially dropping, we've got ourselves in that deficit, we're dropping weight, we're gonna hit these deficits. And that's when you have periods of less fat loss, of less scale drop. You know, you're not gonna be dropping weight as much and you hit these inevitable plateaus. But the goal is to get to around about here where you've lost body fat, you're in great shape. But along that journey, you hit these plateaus. Now, what's very important that we do when we hit these plateaus is we know what to do to get out of them. So here would be a plateau where we've hit that sort of like that phase here where we've stopped losing body fat. Here would be another one. We've stopped losing body fat. Here, another one. Now, what do we actually do when we hit these plateaus? Now, there are a few things that we can do. Now, what I'd recommend doing when you hit those plateaus is you look to increase your calorie deficit. That's when we're increasing the deficit that we're in to help us further shift body fat, further shift that weight. So the first thing I would look to do is, can we reduce food? So hopefully you can see that. I'd look to bring down foods. Now, where would I look to bring down the foods from? It wouldn't be protein. Your protein needs to stay the same. What I would look to be doing is bringing down carbohydrates and our fats. So you might drop that 55 grams down to 50 grams or to 45 grams. You might drop that 300 grams down to 275, 250, and you would look to reduce your food from your carbs and your fats. That's very, very important, and we don't take it from proteins. The second way that you can actually increase your deficit is by actually moving more. So increase your movement. So you can do that by increasing your daily steps. You could do some forms of low intensity cardio, any form of movement. If you increase the amount of movement that you're actually doing, you're going to increase that calorie deficit. So these are the two first things that I'd look at. If you hit these plateaus, what you can do to actually then kickstart that weight loss and get that weight coming back down again is going to be reducing your food to increase your deficit, or by increasing your movement to increase that calorie deficit. So we've now worked out what we do with our plateaus and when we hit those inevitable fat loss plateaus. The next thing that you need to focus on is going to be our training, okay? Because training is very important when we're looking to lose body fat and build muscle. We want to get in shape here. Just losing weight and losing muscle so you look skinny is not getting in shape. So we want to be making sure that we're training hard and we're looking to train the right way to build muscle as we lose body fat. So I would look at doing anywhere between sort of 3 to 5 days of training. If you're very busy, like a lot of the guys that we work with, 3 to 4 days is very good and a great amount of time to be training. I wouldn't recommend any more than 5, in all honesty. You need a few rest days, you need to recover. So if you're training, you've got to make sure that you're looking to target every single muscle group a combined 10 to 20 sets per week. So for example, you want to be doing 10 to 20 sets on your chest, 10 to 20 sets on your legs, 10 to 20 sets on your back, for example. You've got to be covering that amount of volume to be building muscle. The next things that you want to be focusing on is training with intensity and progressive overload. Hopefully you can see this all okay. I know it's a bit messy, but intensity and progressive overload, what does that mean? Progressive overload is increasing the difficulty and applying more challenge to those particular movements. So that might be increasing the amount of weight that we're lifting, increasing the amount of reps that we're doing. You've got to make sure you're challenging yourself more and more every single week. So if you lifted 50 kilos for 10 reps last week, you might want to be looking at doing 50 kilos for 11 reps this coming week. So every week you're looking to get better and better, you're looking to get stronger, you're looking to apply progressive overload. Intensity, very important that we're not just going through the motions, we have to be challenging ourselves. We can't just be, turning up to the gym, 3 sets of 10, going through the motions. You have to train with intensity. You have to push yourself to physical fatigue, muscular fatigue. You can't just stop at 10 if you feel like stopping at 10. You push, so you physically can't do any more and you reach muscular fatigue. So with our training, I would look anywhere between 3 to 5 days. I'll be looking at 10 to 20 sets across each muscle group across the entire week. And I'll be looking at apply intensity and a progressive overload through my sessions. Now, if you want a completely free, full 4-day workout program, I've given it away in some of my recent reels that I've posted on Instagram. So go and leave a comment on my reels or just DM me the words 4 days on Instagram, Harry Knights Coaching, and I'll send this straight over to you. So now we've worked out what we're doing with our training. We now need to figure out what we do with our social events and our weekends. If something like, meals, birthdays, these events come up that we still want to go to and we still want to have a good time, but we also want to get in shape as well. Now, what we use with all of our members is our calorie banking method. I'm going to draw this out on a graph to show you exactly what I mean by this. So on the left-hand side here, we have our calories. So this is how many calories we are consuming. And again, we will have time along the bottom. Let's say this is our week. So our week of eating. You got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through to Sunday. So let's say we're eating 2,500 calories on Monday, 2,500 calories Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You get the point. So we're eating the same amount of calories. Let's say on a given week, we are looking to eat 2,500 calories across the entire week, every single day. Now, what you could look at, this is a weekly total. So let's say it's 2,500. The weekly total is 17,500 calories. If we're doing 2,500, 7 days a week, that is 17,500 calories. Now, what we could actually look at doing here is banking calories. So rather than going the same amount every single day, what you could actually do is subtract 200 from Monday, 200 from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 1,000 calories banked up, ready for Saturday. So let's say you had a very important birthday meal, family, friend, whatever it might be, but you knew you were gonna spend a few more calories on that Saturday. If you reduced your calories Monday through Friday, you then have 1,000 calories to play with on that Saturday that you could consume. You then go back to eating your usual 2,500 calories on the Sunday, and again, your weekly total is still 17,500. So it's just about manipulation, calorie banking. If you can save up a few calories throughout the week, ready for your Saturday social, you can then be on track throughout the entire week and see your calories as a weekly total. So this is a method that I would use if you've got social events, birthdays, etc. How to stay on track throughout the entire week, and it's something that we use with all of our members at Lean for Life Coaching. I wouldn't look at doing this every single week, I'll be honest. It's for your special events, your special occasions. If you try and do it every single week, you're gonna run into a few troubles with energy levels, etc., and your training sessions. So look, pick and choose your battles, save it for those special occasions, but this is how you can manipulate calories throughout the week to save calories for that Saturday, for that special occasion. So there we have it. We've worked out how we navigate our socials on our weekends in order to get shape for summer 2025. So hopefully you found this video useful. A bit of a short, quick video just walking you through a bit of a game plan, a bit of a strategy to get in shape for the summer. Hopefully you found it useful. Feel free to go and DM me on Instagram any questions that you have. Like I said, a free 4-day workout program. If you just DM me the word 4 days on Instagram and I'll send that straight over to you. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Drop me a message on Instagram. Again, I'm spending a bit of time in the DMs. They're replying to any questions that you have. So feel free to go over there and message me and drop me a follow if you haven't already at Harry Knights Coaching. But hopefully it's been useful, and make sure you subscribe to the channel to catch the next one, and I'll see you in the next video.